good evening. Had another Tuesday night steal, and things turned out pretty well. I won my classification. I'll get through and kind of show you the rankings and everything there and how that worked out. But I'm pleased with the finish. It was not my strongest night. In fact, I had a penalty, and I wish I had it. I my camera was giving me problems for the first couple stages, and I didn't get a recording of the one stage that had a penalty on. But it was set up to where there was a no shoot, a big piece of cardboard that was a no shoot in front. You had to shoot a popper that fell down. And when that popper fell down, the cardboard went like this, right? Just for a second, it just popped out of the way and popped back up. And there were two poppers behind it, and you had to hit each popper. And when I shot that first popper to knock it to reveal, it took, I think, 3 or 4 rounds in order for that thing to fall. So then when there were two poppers that looked exactly the same behind it, I thought, man, I'm not going to risk just getting one each because I got a three-point bonus or a 3-second bonus for each one I knocked down. So I put a couple rounds each in them as they were there. And as that cardboard came back up to recover the targets, I had fired one round. And I mean, I'm talking, it was half the circle. I had grazed the top edge of that no shoot target. Was not a full hole in the paper. I'm talking like less than a crescent, but that's a 5-second penalty. So I went in the rest of the shoot thinking, man, 5 seconds is a lot to make up. I don't know that I'll be able to win my classification tonight, but I came out on top, so that's good. That's what I've been shooting for, and I've accomplished a goal now that I set that I thought would take me a lot longer than it has. So that's a wonderful night. So let me kind of walk you through the night, and I'll show you everything that happened here, and we'll kind of talk about it as I go. Let's get started. Now, this first one, all I have is the third person perspective. I'm not going to make you watch the first person perspective on it. This is not a great stage for me. I didn't shoot this accurately. This is usually playing to my strengths. I'm usually really good at this kind of stuff. The more complex it tends to be, the better for me. But tonight, the simple stages are where I crushed it, and I'll show you kind of as we go. But you'll see me miss a lot right here. And my time wasn't horrifically bad, but it was definitely not on par for how I should be shooting, and it was my weakest performance of the night. So here it is.
Are you ready? Stand by.
I had a 50-round drum on. It was a good thing. Man. I did 4 hits on each of those plates.
Shooter, are you ready?
Okay, so here's the next
Stand
one.
by.
This one goes fairly well. But there was a timer issue. So let me stop and kind of show you here what happens. You'll see these guys talk about it. And we'll pause for a second and come back to you.
That doesn't make sense.
That does not make sense.
How many shots does this have?
This is 8-4-2.
So only 8 shots. Reshoot.
That's a reshoot.
Just imagine it's a circle. Wasn't me, bro.
Gotta get it up there.
Okay. So what happens? You'll see these guys holding this little black timer, and the guy that does that's the range officer. It's always just one of us. When one of us just takes the timer and off we go, and we run the show for a little bit. But what that timer does when you push go, it beeps. That tells the shooter they can begin to fire, and it starts to track time based on shots. And so it tracks all your shots, so you can get your split times, and you know how long you hesitated between shots. Shooters use it to see how long their transitions are. So they'll check time on, maybe they'll shoot this target twice and then shoot a target over here twice. And the goal is to make that transition between targets really as fast as you possibly can, and make it those splits kind of even is a good thing to be shooting for. So anyway, something happened with the timer there, and obviously it didn't pick up all of my shots. So timer just didn't function properly. The guy might have held it a little bit like behind him, so it wasn't picking up the shots cleanly, but it only picked up a fraction of my shots, and it came out with an 8-second time, which would have been amazing, right? So because of that, I end up reshooting this stage. And so we'll show you what the reshoot of the stage looks like. I went back and timed it. I would have come out at about 13 and a half to 14 seconds, somewhere in that range is where that would have come out. It's tough with a stopwatch to try and figure out exactly where that is, but somewhere approaching 14 seconds would have been the time on that one if the timer had been functioning properly. But I got to shoot the stage again, so let's see what happens there. All right.
Yep.
All right, so here we go.
Shooter, are you ready? Stand by. Our finish, unload, show clear, hammer.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that one was better than the first one.
And we'll go ahead and watch the third
Range is
person
clear.
perspective of that one.
286.
You beat me on that one.
Did I get? Thank you.
Oh, you had practice.
Yeah, that's right. Shooter, are you ready? Stand by.
This ends up being my best stage of the night. Pretty smooth. This is the final stage. This one runs pretty quick too.
Shooter, are you ready? Stand by. Show clear, hammer down. Range is clear. 1518.
Woo!
1518.
I shot a 20, so I'm like, that had to be a 15, 16. Yeah. Dude, you did that clean.
Thank you.
That was mechanical.
So last week we talked a lot about footwork. So that's really comes into play here. You can see very little wasted energy as I came up to this last stage here. So watch those feet. And this is the same one we just watched in first person. This is just seeing what my feet are doing. So overall, not a terrible night. I have finished number 15 out of 208 shooters. Not my best showing, but not too bad. I was able to win the A classification group, so that's cool. But what really helps me move up is this next one, where I won the gun type that I'm in, PCC, and also the classification. You do that 3 times in a row, you move up, and tonight was my 3rd win as an A classified shooter. So that moves me to master. I set that goal to be a master shooter by the end of the year. I wanted to do that by the end of this year, and here it is, June 3rd, and I've been able to accomplish that, so I feel really good about that. One other cool thing that happened tonight, that stage that I had to reshoot ended up being my best stage of the night and my best showing ever on a stage at Tuesday Night Steel. So this is my first time winning a stage. As out of all shooters, I was rated the top shooter and the fastest time for that one stage. So just a cool little accomplishment that I didn't expect to have happen tonight. But it does kind of make that win just a little bit sweeter, which is really cool. So keep the questions coming. I've been getting some emails and some other messages that are private, so keep sending me questions. I'll answer them as I can. I'll be out next week, but I should be back the week following, doing a PCC match that week. So looking forward to that one. But until then, send me questions, like, comment, share, do all that fun stuff, and we'll see you out on the range.